Alright, hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. We are continuing on in our unboxing spree of Skylanders Swap Force, kind of hitting up these Swap Force Newlanders here right now. Thus far on the evening, we've covered Slobbertooth, regular form, got there side by side with his dark Slobbertooth counterpart. From the DESP exclusively at GameStop, we got Scorp, Earth Element, and Riptide. Just unboxed those two guys back to back in that order. Why? They were two of my most anticipated, and they both hit last Wednesday with the Wave 2 release. Did pick both of them up Wednesday. I've yet to see those guys not in stock. They probably are going to go pretty quick. The weekend may have changed that. Again, when possible, I don't really hit stores on the weekend, so keep that one in mind. But other stores should start to see those guys. Same with online outlets. Could possibly have them. I haven't gotten to check anything today. That said, we're going to continue on here. This was actually a launch day character. Really interested in this one. I've seen a lot of people that have actually not known jack about Skylanders, and they've actually seen Zulu and said, hey, that guy looks pretty cool. And that's it. This is Zulu. That is his box art there. He is, of course, a Swap Force Newlander. Check that out, that bird. I mentioned this, I think, in some of the B-roll Activision sent out that I voice over. To me, that looks an awful lot like Free Ranger. Just an observation. You can see a wolf there. Up top you see a boar. Those are there for a reason. They're kind of his three powers. So that's it. Zulu slogan, nature calls. There on his belt, it's actually a boar. I think you can make out the snap. We'll cover that in detail once he's out of there, I suppose. Coming around, there's a look at the packaging up front. We're going to flip it over. Again, countdown. The countdown is on. When will I unbox? Countdown could be next. You'll have to wait and see. Check it out there. Again, Zulu. He appears to be in like a canyony, mountainy, deserty region. Would have been nice if he was like in a forest area or something. Again, that's just minor gripes. You know, I try to not only focus on the positive, but, you know, some things that bother me. I'm not a sellout. I mean, I do things like I would, you know, regardless. So, just something I'd kind of like to see if like each character was maybe like in their own elemental area. I think would be neat. Then again, it might wash out, you know, the staff or something, who knows. That said, the other previewed characters, LC Starstrike, Lava Barf, Eruptor, Bumble Blast, and Slobbertooth, which you can see there on the 3DS Portal of Power. Right here, only compatible with Skylanders Swap Force. Why is that? The characters are forward compatible, meaning, again, Dino Ring, Voodooed, Whamshell, Pop Fizz, Chill, all those characters will work in Swap Force, as will Zulu. It's just Zulu can't go back and play SSA, so that's the logic there. Gonna go ahead and open this. Been having pretty good luck with these single pack Newlanders, so hopefully that continues on. I think Zulu is going to be fun. I think I had mentioned he and Countdown as well. Having a hard time getting my knife up in there. There we go. Alright. Getting not too bad. Working out a lot better than the Swappers. Again, the backside view not near as cool as the Swap Force because the card's there. But let's see if this one's taped. It is not. So, for what it's worth, I don't know how many people care, but this one was also sent out by Activision. That said, I bought some Wave 1s just like it, which were not taped. So, Riptide and Scorp, both Wave 2, they had tape on them. These right here, launch day figures, did not have tape, which if you're keeping things intact, that's really good. I mean, look at that. It's perfect. You know, so that said, we're actually going to free him from his plastic tomb real quick. That snapped off way better, too. That'll be... I may do Countdown next and actually see if his follows suit. This makes it really easy to get him out. This guy's going to look pretty sweet, I think, when we take our detailed look at him. Chase McCain is hidden. He's been in a different spot every time. I think I forgot to mention that a couple of times. But as always, if you see him post up, I'm going to slide this and the stat card, sticker sheet I should say, out. Alright, we'll start with the sticker sheet actually. There it is. If you do storage cases, notebooks, if you stick them on the wall, if you've got some giant poster you've created, which is probably huge by now, that's what you can have. You've got a name tag below there, QR code, web code, that's why I can't show it to you. Nice artwork there, just like what we see on the box. Again, the Zulu Life Element Newlander. Power, thought it would be higher than that, 65 of 200. Armor 95 of 200, agility 30 of 200, luck quite high at 120 of 200. Let's put all that together. We have 160, 190, 290, 310. So he's sitting at 310 just like his fellow Skylander Slobbertooth from launch day. Then at 320, we have Riptide and Scorp, which again came out Wednesday of launch week. So kind of an interesting thing there. We'll see if that continues. In theory, Roller Brawl and Countdown could be 310. Star Strike Single could be 320. We'll kind of keep tabs on it. Let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. He looks awesome. Zulu, I believe, is a panda bear, of course. Again, check out that belt. It is actually a boar. It's got the regular belt buckle, and then it's got the, tusks going up around there. Short, stocky legs, kind of typical of what you'd see. Wearing a brown shirt of some sort. Nice detail on the belt. You've got the little spikes or brass nubs, whatever they were trying to replicate there. He's got kind of that ancient wise look about him. You can see that kind of in the wraps he's wearing around his feet. He's got the gold shoulder pads. Again, here's someone else wearing gold. Coming around to the backside, check that out. This is something you can see it. Actually, you can't. You can see it like in the pictures, but sometimes the pictures don't correlate to the figure. He's actually wearing a cape. That's pretty sweet in my opinion. It's actually really stiff. This isn't, anything I think that you have to worry about breaking. Same goes for that staff. It's actually done really well too. There's a look at the top of it. Kind of pick up on it. The detail on the hands, kind of the furry panda thing is working out real well. This, I don't know if the camera's going to show you. I've got to hold him at a weird angle, trying to get it to focus. Don't think it's going to. Anyway, take my word for it. When you unbox Zulu, check for this. Coming up from above his nose, this one that's going to face towards his open hand, he's got 4 fingers, is actually a wolf. So that is incorporated into that staff. Coming around to the one that's going to be, essentially, I guess, what the third of the way across was going to be the eagle. And then on the back side that actually faces his cape, that is a boar. That is ridiculous amount of detail. Again, that's something a lot of people probably just assume they're like nubs. Kind of like the tip of the knife or something coming into the frame. They're actually intricately detailed animals, just like he summons. Again, he's got the bird. That's actually his primary attack is going to be the birds. They will be addressed in the Soul Gem. It sounds pretty sweet. He can send 5 of them. It says it does massive damage. Again, that's right there, the wolf. That's dedicated to a path, the Wild Wolf Path. It looks pretty sweet. And then it'll actually dig up food when health is low. And then on the backside here, facing the cape, is the boar. He actually gets to ride that. I think you've seen some of the B-roll or snippets of that. It does some extra damage, moves around a little quicker. Should be pretty interesting character. The good news here, if you're thinking, man, I've got to take Wild Wolf, but I also want to see what Bucking Boar is like, I'd like both of them. He will have a legendary figure. Don't know when it's going to come out. Again, some people kept insisting all legendaries out on launch day. I never knew where that came from. It doesn't make sense really for Toys R Us either, but he should, in all honesty, come in and have the legendary figure at some point, possibly before Christmas, if not probably sometime before Easter. And he kind of seems like a spring figure, but then again, so does Free Ranger. Or I'm sorry, not Free Ranger. But nonetheless, you get the drift I was saying. I don't know when he's going to come out, but if you're patient, instead of having to buy a duplicate of Zulu, you can actually wait for his legendary version. So keep that in mind, and then you can just kind of pick which path you want now, which one you want later. But looks really good, and again, nice detail. Don't see the life element anywhere on him, but I mean, that does not a big deal when he's got that boar belt, and then all 3 of the animals actually on the staff. So very impressed with his detail thus far. That said, his slogan, Nature Calls. Pretty long story here, bear with me. Descended from a long line of shamans, Zulu traveled far and wide to the 7 strange strongholds, ancient mysterious sites of great wonder in Skylands, where he studied the wisdom and fighting styles of the 7 strange mages. Go figure. But again, I mean, you can kind of pick up on that noble, wise warrior, philosophical, mentality that he kind of just oozes out of the pose. I don't know if anyone else sees that. It's just, based on what I've seen in my life, it kind of gives off that vibe. So, good to see we were correct in that regard. But, after many years of traveling and studying, Zulu returned to find an army of trolls had invaded his sacred homeland to mine its natural magic resources. Zulu's warrior heart burned with fury, and having now mastered the enchanted art of communicating with nature and summoning animals, he unleashed his great mojo. That makes him instantly likable since he's got mojo. Attacking the trolls and single-handedly freeing the lands once again. It was this heroic feat that caught the eye of Double Trouble. How about that? That kind of makes sense. You can see these two guys getting along pretty well. But caught the eye of Double Trouble, who then brought Zulu to master Eon and ultimately joined the Skylanders. So, props to Double Trouble for getting this guy involved. Again, you can see elements there, kind of like with Double Trouble's, Channeler and Conjurer. These two might cross paths as they travel Skylands. So, nice little touch there. And again, his homeland sounds like it could be an interesting deal. Maybe the trolls come back, they're mining the magic resources, Zulu has to save the day. Lots of options here. We've kind of covered the powers already. His primary attack is called Bird Call. It essentially just sends out a bird to attack. Second one is a wolf, and it's kind of more of an ally. It'll attack and also eventually be beneficial to you. The Soul Gem, again, you can send 5 birds at once, says it's devastating. You've got the Bucking Boar Path, and you've got the Wild Wolf Path. Personally, I think I'm going to take Wild Wolf. Yeah, I think it would suit this character better, unless like the wolf is a weird color in the game. As you know, I'm kind of particular about that stuff, but I just kind of see that suiting this version of Zulu better, and I see the legendary for whatever reason on the boar, I guess because it's darker. That said, depending on the color schemes of the wolf and the boar, I might change my minds, but initially that's my plan. And again, that's why, like just here, granted, we've got Light Core Grim Creeper, regular Grim Creeper, and then Light Core, legendary Light Core, so kind of skews things. But I mean, anytime you've got a character who you have an alternate figure of, whatever the form is, it's a nice touch because you don't have to necessarily buy the same thing. You can actually buy something you don't have and would need for your collection, and then explore the other paths. So that's a perk to me. But again, Zulu retails $9.99, $10.99, I guess, at Toys R Us. So far, have not had any trouble locating him anywhere. That could change again. If you're doing Swap Force for Christmas, just try to act, before Black Friday. I know some of you are deal-based and deal with that. There's nothing, personally, I would go in and around that many people and parking and chaos and ridiculousness, to do something. I'd rather pay the extra $2. Toys R Us could charge me $12.99 if I knew they weren't going to have any after Black Friday. So, bottom line, as long as you're going about it in a timely manner or have a plan, I don't think you're going to have issues tracking this guy down. It does look really cool, though. I think he's going to be unique. I know he's Life Element. We've had a couple, rattle shake of these new people that kind of seem like they overlap or they might have been better suited elsewhere. Riptide makes perfect sense. I feel like Scorpion Slobbertooth as well. But Zulu is someone, it makes sense that he's Life Element, but you could just as easily see him being a Magic Element Skylander. So, that said, though, when you compare him to Starstrike, it makes a lot of sense. So keep that all in mind, but he is Life Element. I think he's going to should be fun, but what I was going to say is I think he's going to be extremely unique. He actually, physically, it's not like he's got the Panda Pound or, the Fists of Fury or something crazy or the Jump Up and Butt Slam. It's actually just, everything he does is magic, basically. He summons it. It's part of his training. It's what he went to school for. So, you got the birds, you got the boars and you got the wolves, and that's what he does. They're actually what attacks. So should be interesting. Kind of something unique to him, and kind of ties in there with Riptide, but looks really good. Nice detail. It should be fun to play with that unique element there. So again, $10.99. You can find them pretty $10 or $9.99 depending on the store. I really wish they would just keep them at $9.99. Toys R Us. That said, if they do have the sale, it's well worth it. It just complicates the video. Anyway, should be a good character. We will have a legendary version coming out, so keep that one in mind. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. That will keep you up with. That's actually a good look at the wolf. See it there? The bird's actually up top. I'm going to try this same angle. I feel like that's the best we've seen the boar, so I would just given up. I thought it was like too weird of a green color to ever actually get you the detail. That's the boar. I think you can get a good feel for it. That's the bird, which again looks an awful lot like Free Ranger. He doesn't look like Jetbag. He looks like Free Ranger. And then right there, it's kind of gone out of focus again, but that's the wolf. So anyway, like I said, when you open yours up, take a look at that staff. It's something you'll definitely appreciate. As I was saying, make sure to subscribe. That'll keep you up with all the latest. Top of the video description will be a blog link. It'll take you to a post explicitly about Zulu. You can watch the video there. You'll get all the information, the pricing. You'll find some cool pictures, the stat card, pretty much anything and everything you'd want to know about the guy. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, nature calls.